Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on Young Race Predictor. Today we are going to be talking about the wonders and the moments of the Monaco Grand Prix this season, which took place this weekend. And of course, as we all know very well, Lando is back on top. He's landed on the top step in the principality. Of course, the home hero coming home in second. And although it may have been a two-stop race, some surprises, some frustrations, incidents had also taken place in between. But I'll do my best to cover it in the top three moments, in my opinion, of this entire weekend, and of course the top three wonders of this Monaco Grand Prix. So stick around. But before we dive right in, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share with all your friends and all the Formula One fans we know. With that being said, let's jump right into moment number one of this weekend: the clean sweep. This weekend almost seemed like as if it was going in way of a driver whom we have wanted to see take the top step for the second year in a row in his home Grand Prix. And of course, that driver is the home hero, in quotes, the Prince of Monaco, Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc, he did a very good job for Ferrari, given how their pace was throughout the beginning of the season. The one who actually loved street circuits, it seemed like almost it was going his way, because he topped FP1, he topped FP2, FP3, Q1 and Q2, but missed out by just a tenth after putting a fantastic lap, but lost it out to Lando Norris, who broke the track record and went on to win the Monaco Grand Prix the following 78 laps. On the following day, the two stop actually did not make a big difference, except other than the fact that we saw Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris fight so close until the very end. We actually thought he was going to get it, but alas, he could only take away second place when Max Verstappen was doing a very good job keeping the lead, hoping that a red flag would come in play. So yeah, Charles Leclerc, honestly, I would have been happy, like I said in my prediction video, if he did indeed win the race. But as I predicted, he did come in second. But needless to say, he did do a very good job in his home Grand Prix, getting second place and the highest position a Ferrari has finished this season. So honestly, a very good job this entire weekend from Charles Leclerc, who came home to take P2 in this weekend. Moment number two: Mercedes in madness. I think this is a weekend Mercedes would like to forget. Coming in strong and coming in with the hope that they would do very well here in the Principality. It was not a very good qualifying at all. Qualifying P14, P15, and they went on to fight. At one point, the Williams were defending, or in other words, racing in front of George Russell, or just brake testing him. In one fact, Russell just went past the track, and he was absolutely fine with getting the penalty, and he just wanted to complete the race right ahead of the Williams. And he did not even have his two stops. Forget Russell, even Antonelli, he didn't have their two stops until the 70 laps were over, which is quite a shocking thing. I mean, honestly, surviving 70 laps in one set of tires is a big deal, and having two stops in the last 8 laps is of course even another big thing. But given how they entered this weekend with the hope that they would do a little bit better and perform a lot more better here in Monaco, so this was moment number 2 of this weekend. Moment number 3: mandatory 2-stop madness. Well, we came into the Monaco Grand Prix hoping that not just the fact that Charles Leclerc would win, or expecting that we would want every other driver to win and Lando Norris would just swoop in and go on to win. Of course, I am happy that Lando did win the Monaco Grand Prix, but the big thing that people were awaiting or hoping for to come very handy in this race was the mandatory 2-stop strategy. And of course, every driver came with the 2-stop strategy. Somehow, some of them pitted very early, some of them pit in a normal way, some of them pit until the very end, like Mercedes. And to be honest, other than the fact of losing positions, it did not really have a very big impact when it came in terms of overtakes. At one point, when I think one of the drivers had retired, I think Pierre Gasly or one of them, I'm not sure, Oscar Piastri and Max Verstappen were fighting so hard. Actually, I wouldn't say the racing element wasn't there. I mean, between Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris, the fight was really good. Max Verstappen, somehow hoping that the red flag would come at any one point, was defending the last 3 drivers who were behind him, which is, in other words, the 2 McLarens and of course Charles Leclerc. And to be honest, the 2-stop, other than the fact that it seemed to have an effect on just some drivers' race, it did not really have a big impact at all, because the drivers almost finished in the exact same places where they started, or they just made up a place, made up 1 or 2 places in the entire Grand Prix. So in the end of the day, it ended in the way the qualifying grid was: Lando Norris winning the Monaco Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc coming home in second, and Oscar Piastri coming home in third. But in my opinion, the team which did a fantastic job in the two-stop strategy, and of course getting a good load of points. I mean, not the best amount, but indeed some good points because of a good strategy they had come up with. There will be the wonder team of this video. So let's dive right into the wonders of this weekend. Wonder number one, he has to be wonder number one. He was the driver of the day. He is the driver of the day, and he is the driver whom I supported, in fact, this Monaco Grand Prix, and I'm proud to say that the wonder number one is Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc, he did a fantastic job this entire weekend, starting going fastest in FP1, FP2, FP3, Q1 and Q2. He just lost it by a tenth in the final qualifying session. He did put in a fantastic lap, but Lando Norris was there just to take away pole position and going and breaking the track record. Of course, Lando Norris as well did do a very good job, but Charles Leclerc, needless to say, he also drove a very good race. He tried to keep the position. He tried to fight for the win. He comes home to take away second. So he is number one wonder of this Grand Prix. While wonder number two is, of course, the winner, Lando Norris. Lando has won in the Principality in the Monaco Grand Prix, and he is now officially on top in the hardest in the entire world. So Lando Norris winning the Monaco Grand Prix is indeed a big wonder, and a big round of applause to Lando Norris, who has done a very good job in the final qualifying session to then go on and make sure those 78 laps he was ahead of Charles Leclerc and keeping the position intact to go on and win the Monaco Grand Prix. Thus, he is one number two. Esteban Ocon. I think it came as a little bit of a shock after coming to know that not just the two Mercedes had got out, but Esteban Ocon, with least of expectations, in fact, even wanted to come in Q3. And he was actually very shocked, including his engineer, I think Laura Mueller, who was very shocked to see Esteban actually perform and come into the top 10. Even Ocon was a little bit shocked, and they were super happy. And it did pay off in the end of the day, because they came home to finish P7 in the Monaco Grand Prix. A good load of points, of course 8 points, and it was a really good race from Esteban Ocon. Hence he is one number 3. And the wonder team are Racing Bulls. They managed to master that two-stop strategy. I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily master, but Hadjar made sure that he went in for those two stops early, because he had the ability to go faster, and he had really good pace. He is driving very well here in Monaco, and he's driving the V Cup very well. So Lawson had a little bit of a huge task to make sure that he defended the Williams and the rest of the drivers behind him, so that Hadjar would finish his two-stop as quick as possible, and he did finish it as quick as possible. And so Lawson went in, he came up also at the same time, and they came home with a really good load amount of points, coming home in P6 for Isaac Hadjar and P8 for Liam Lawson. So in my opinion, though McLaren may have taken the most number of points and Ferrari did perform much better than how they have in the previous weekends, the strategy was worth it, and they finished P6 and P8. Hence, VCARB or Racing Bulls are the wonder team of this weekend. So that is it, and here is the current championship standings. As it stands, Isaac Hadjar has now moved into the top 10, coming home in 15 points, as Esteban Ocon has managed to increase his gap with that 8 points, going with 20 points in this championship. Alexander Albon with 42, right behind Antonelli, just 6 points ahead of him. Lewis Hamilton at 63. Charles Leclerc getting this podium, second place, a very special one, with 79, 20 points right behind George Russell. Max Verstappen with the 136. Lando Norris with that win, now just 3 points behind his teammate, who is the championship leader, Oscar Piastri, as we now dive right into this Spanish Grand Prix this weekend. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share this with all your friends and all the Formula 1 fans we know. See you next time for the next video, where we do the Spanish Grand Prix predictions tomorrow. But until then, tuning in next time. Goodbye.